Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the World of Wayne. Happy Tuesday. Today we're going to be doing the next 4 stages, 11 to 14 of the fan home release of build the Knight Rider Knight 2000. Now, if you remember last time, we were working on this part here with the attached wheel. I did forget to actually do something, and I did make a couple of mistakes, which you probably noticed. I think it was on this side, I didn't put the the shock absorber through the hole. That's done now, as you can see. And you're also meant to trace these brake lines here just through the wishbones of the suspension there, which I've done. This one here gets plugged into this side, as you can see there. And this one, obviously, we haven't got a wheel on at the moment, so we can't do that. So that's just hanging out the side. But that is what that's currently looking like. Now, if I put that to one side, we're doing 4 stages now, and we're going to be actually working on the floor pan, I believe, and some of the wheel arches. Looks to be some quite big metal pieces in there, so hopefully I'm not going to injure myself today. We'll have to see. I'm doing all right. Got a little bit of paint on my thumb because I think I'm almost finished with the Orca, which is pretty cool. So if you want to get this for yourself, I'll put the link down here to the fan home website. You'll be able to get that all the way from pack 1. But without further ado, let's get cracking. So as you can see here in stage 11, we've got this ginormous floor pan. And if I just show you what that looks like, this is metal and it's in the bag and it's ginormous. As a matter of fact, it's probably better on that because then obviously you can see the scale with me. It is metal. It's really heavy. We're going to be attaching parts to this. So as you can see, that makes sense there. We're going to be putting all of this together here, and then the part that I just showed you right at the start of this video, we're actually going to mount that on. It's a little bit strange that we're actually doing this with only 1 wheel on the car. I thought we might have 2 before we put that on, but you know, it is what it is. And that's all there is going to be to do in that stage. So there it is. What a ginormous part. It's all metal. Obviously this is going to add a lot of weight to it, but we're going to be putting some stuff on this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be putting on the chassis. Listen, I'm going to just say chassis. Let's just end it now. I call it chassis. It's probably pronounced chassis. I think it's a French word anyway, so it would be pronounced ch, as in champagne. But I just call it chassis because that's me, and it's the World of Wayne channel. So anyway, so we're going to put this centerpiece on here, and that's just going to be pushed into the middle like that. Now you do want to make sure that it is in line with each side there. So you can just push that a little bit down. It's going to be held in with GM screws. I think I'm just going to go straight to my heavy duty screwdriver today because we are screwing lots of screws into metal today. So that's 1. And that one's 2. Excellent. We're going to flip that over and we're going to be putting this clip in, which is eventually going to be holding one of the brake lines. So the first one, if I just put this up, you see this hole here? That's where that's going to go. So we can position that over the top. It's going to go with this side here pointing towards this side of the floor pan. So that's going in there. And then once again, screw of choice. It's going to be held in with a GM screw. We've got exactly the same thing here. Just going to go on the back, just onto this section here. Same way, just over the top, held in with a GM screw. Now remember, even though we're going into metal, the actual detail is plastic. So all you want to do is make sure it's tight, but don't over tighten it. Otherwise, you are at risk of breaking the detail. So as long as it stops moving, that'll be perfect. Now we've got the fuel filter. That looks just like this. Turning this around. That's going into the little holes that we can see there. One's bigger than the other, so it can only go in one way. Just like that. And this time that's held in with a BP screw. Don't really want to use my heavy duty screwdriver on delicate plastic parts. So I'm going to use my wearer. There we go. And that's in place, looking just like that. Now we're going to put this on what we created in the last pack here. Just going to lift up the steering rod here, and it's just going to go with this section here. You can see we've got a hole on each side. Going to go into these lugs here. So if we can line them ones up just like that on both sides, that'll give you an idea where this is going. It's going to be held in with 2 EM screws just at the front here. So that's one that side. One on the other side here. And then finally we just got these two in the middle here. That's one. That one's two. Get that all the way in. Excellent. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 12, we've got one of the wheel arches to put in. We've got some more brackets to put in as well, which we're going to be mounting to that wheel arch. And once we've created that, looks like we're going to be adding some details to it. So it just looks like that. We're not actually putting this onto the floor pan that we created yet. So all we're going to be doing is working on the arch. And there we go. That's what the arch looks like. Again, metal, immaculate paint on there. Looking good. Okay, so we can turn this upside down. And I've got this metal bracket to go in. That's just going to go into the two holes that we can just see there. So that's going to go on like that. Held in from the other side with AM screws. So one in here. And just one in the other side. Now this here is the battery. And the battery has a base looking like that. The base of the battery obviously is just going to go in the base. Just like that there. And then that's going to be mounted over this shaft. See, I've turned it over there with all the terminals of the battery, or what would be the terminals, facing the wheel arch section here. So if I put it on in sections, this section here is going to be going over the top. The battery this way round is going to be going over the top there. And then all of that's held in from the underside here with a CP screw. So screw that in. Excellent, and there we go, that's the battery in place like that. Now in this little bag here, we've got the terminals for the battery. They're very tiny, they look like this, and the nipples for these are going to be facing again towards the main wheel arch, and they're just a push in, so I'll put one in, show you what that looks like. There we go. You don't need glue, once you push them in, you'll feel how resistant they are. As a matter of fact, I think they'll probably be a bit of a pain to try and get these out if I had ever had to. And that's both the terminals in, and that is all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 13, we're going to be doing the washer tank, and we're actually going to be creating one of the shock absorbers as well, by the look of this. We're going to be attaching all of this. Looks like we've got a strut mount. See, I know what that is because I had to get one replaced on a Hyundai once upon a time. That's going to be put onto the wheel arch as well. Looks like we're putting a lot of details in this. And then finally, we get to attach this to the main body, which we were working on at the start of this video. So as you can see, stage 13's got lots of tiny bits in it. I'll bring the wheel arch over, and this is where I do need the mount, looking like that. And everything is metal in this. This is just going to be going over the top there. Just like that. It's going to be held in with 3 GM screws. Now remember, it wouldn't be the World of Wayne channel if I don't say this. I'm going into metal, so I'm putting this in some 3-in-1 oil. It's one of the most common questions I get asked on the channel is what oil I'm using. It's just a 3-in-1 oil, and it is in my Amazon store. And the links to my Amazon store are in the video description. So that's 2. And then finally we'll put the third one just down the bottom there. Excellent. Now we're going to keep this upside down. I'm going to take the shock absorber here and we're going to be putting that into the hole. You can see there it is shaped, so it can only go a certain way, just like that. Now to keep that in place, we're going to screw in an MM screw. And as you can see, that's a flange screw here. So turn it over, and at the top we put this in to the strut mount. And once again, on my old Hyundai, it was that part that I'm screwing in now which had the problem. I think the bush had gone in it or something, so I was making a right racket. But there we go. That's all in, and there's the shock on. Now, pretty much like we did with the battery, we're going to be putting the washer fluid bottle on, which looks like that, and this does have a base as well. But so what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to install it just in parts like we did before. So the base will go over this hole here, this way round, so it fits nice and flush on top, and then the washer bottle is just going to go on top of that like that, and then once again that's held in from the other side with a CP screw. Still got that one left over from the last stage, so I'll get this in nice and tight, and there we go. That's the reservoir bottle in place. Excellent. So we've got the top mount to put on there. That looks just like this, and this is just a push in. So put that on top and push that as hard as I can in there. So that looks like that. And then we just need the cap for the washer fluid tank, which is going on the top. Now this is shaped, so I do happen to have it round the right way anyway. So that's pushed on as well. Lovely details in that, look at that. So let's put that to one side while I bring over what we've been working on, this section here. So the way this goes on, if you just match these two sections up, look, you've got this tab at the back here, which is going to go over that point just there. And then we've got this small tab here, which we're going to screw in, is going to go into the hole, probably top camera, you can see right there. So if you line these two sections up, everything else is going to fall into place just like that. Now before we put that in there and screw it down, the shock absorber needs its shock, its spring, so we're going to put that on there as well. Make sure that that goes into the shaft that we got of the tyre, and then once again push that into place. Excellent. So that's all in one movement. So EM screw, I'll just do this back one first. I'm not going to put it in too tight, just enough to hold that in place. And then I've got one just behind it here, probably best on the top camera. And then I can make these nice and tight. Excellent. Now if I turn it over, I've got another screw to put in, another EM screw. That's going into this section at the back here, just through that hole. And that's in place, quite rigid, but there's one more screw we need just to put in, which is a GM screw. And that's just going to go into the top bracket that we put in there. I don't know if you can see that, it's got a hole just there. So I'll get that in. Screw that in nice and tight. And that is fully secure on there then. Excellent, and that is all there is to do in that stage. So now that's looking just like that. So the last stage of this pack, once again we've got the other wheel arch to put in place, and pretty much exactly the same as how we first started this video. So at the end of it we're going to have an arch looking like that. So this is what the arch looks like. This time we've got an oil tank to put on this side, and just like last time we had the base, the oil tank, and then we're going to be screwing this onto the arch. So the base on first, that's just going to go in there like that. This has got some cutout sections, as you can see on the corners, so that they go around the two holes that we got there. And then we're just going to simply put the tank in here like this. Make sure it's all the way down. And that's going to be held in from the other side with a CP screw. Put that in there. And again, make sure that's nice and tight. That will mount that in. Excellent. We got the cap to put on the top. Again, this is shaped, so it can only go on one way. So put that in just like that. Which means all that's left to do is put the bracket in just like last time, just into there like that, held in from the other side with AM screws. Got them here. That was a nice nice quick stage to end on. And I do believe, I might be wrong, I do believe I'm caught up. I think I'm where everyone else is now. Perhaps we should have put that bracket in before I put the thing on. It would make more sense, wouldn't it? But there you go, it is what it is. Let's put this other side of the bracket in. Yeah, I do think I'm caught up. But we will see. Just going to tighten that because this screwdriver goes in better there, you see. Probably best to definitely do that bit first before you put the oil tank in. But that is all there is to do in that stage, and that's all there is to do in that pack. So we've done quite a bit in this one. It's certainly grown. So we've done this section here with the wheel and the arch, and obviously we've got its partner, which will eventually go on, I'm guessing, this way round over here eventually, like that. But we still haven't done the other wheel yet, so I'm sure that's coming. And there you go. Now, once again, if you want to get this for yourself, I'll put the link down here to the Fanhome website. You can get that all the way from pack 1. Really do hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.